recording here a podcast known as That's Good Sports. I'm Brandon Perna with Will Keys. We are the week before the Pro Bowl. They say the most important game of the year, Pro Bowl football, Will.
Who's your winner? Who do you think's going to win?
It's just I don't know how the AFC doesn't win this year.
Yeah, I think the NFC is a lock.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is going to get
Once
heated.
again, we're at odds.
This is going to get heated.
I think I should get a chance to pick it and then have it count to our pick totals for the year.
Oh, okay. We can do that.
Yeah. So I'll take the NFC, you got the AFC. And
All right.
It's worth 5 points, by the way.
Yeah, that will – oh, no, wait.
Or
No.
however many I'm down.
Okay, we'll say if you pick it right, it can make it even for the Super Bowl. But
Maybe.
in reality, I still win. But
In reality, you won, yeah.
we can bend the rules for the –
There's no getting around it. I know everybody wants the drama of that, but you won fair and square.
Yeah. I picked them right when it counted. That's just what we need to remember.
You did. You got better as the season went on. I got worse.
Yeah. I'm like the Chiefs in that manner.
You are. Yeah. I guess.
Not that I want to compare myself to them.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got the easiest road to the Super Bowl with the Texans and Titans, but other than that, you got better.
I don't know about the Titans, but the Texans definitely.
We're talking about a 9-7 team here. I never thought they were good. You can check the tapes on that one too. I never said they were good. Never thought they were going to win.
Yeah, well, you were wrong a couple times. Today we're going to get to Gronk's Beach Party. There are some ticket prices I want to run by you. Mike Florio has done an excellent job at pissing off Chiefs fans. I mean, like to max level pissed off.
Yeah.
Mike Shula is interviewing for the Broncos quarterback's coaching job. Kubiak will be the Vikings OC. We'll give our thoughts on the championship games. The Pro Bowl's testing a couple rules. Eli Manning retired. I was going to say not much happened, but it sounds like kind of a lot of shit right there. Let me start with this Gronk's Beach Party, Will. We got to ease into everything. So I got curious because I saw an ad for it on Instagram. God damn it. Okay, so my internet went down, which means my pages for Gronk's Beach Party went down. GronkBeach.com is where you get this. Okay, so the experience, the artist, ticket prices. If you had to guess, they sold out of it looks like they sold out of the cheap ones. So the cheapest ticket price remaining, what do you think that is?
Oh, man, $1,000.
$4.99, but close. So that is tier 7, though.
Oh my God, there's 7 tiers.
No, there's way more tiers than that.
Oh God.
Tiers 1 through 6 sold out. The cheapest were $149.99. $4.99 buys you access to Gronk Beach, 6-hour open bar, unlimited bites, including STK Steakhouse, the Salty Donut, Miami Smokers, Bodegas Tacos, beachfront attractions and games.
What does the 150 get you?
I don't know because it's like crossed out and it doesn't even give you an option to look at it anymore.
I don't think you even get in for 150. I think you get to watch it on TV. It's like pay-per-view.
Watch it through a chain link fence.
Yeah.
With all you can eat.
Electrified fence.
The natural light
gravel
seltzers.
And dirt. Yeah.
Okay, so then you can get a VIP all-inclusive ticket for $1,099. That is tier 6.
Is that the highest one?
Nope. You want to know what the highest one is?
I do.
It's $100,000.
What? Okay, yeah, tell me what.
It is called The Ship Stage table, limited to one. Click here for packages. It is Wynn Nightlife. It's the Las Vegas VIP experience coming to Miami for Gronk Beach, hosted by Encore Beach Club. VIP table guests will enjoy the exclusive Wynn deck with the very best views of the main stage. Get ready for over-the-top tropical-style bottle presentations included with each table. Access to Wynn Nightlife VIP deck, reserved VIP table with premium main stage views, fast lane Wynn VIP entrance, dedicated Wynn VIP only upscale restrooms. That's a bonus. Unlimited bites. What? You got the unlimited bites with the other shit. And that's it.
I'm going to be honest. This is starting to sound a lot like Fire Festival.
Yeah, there's 100,000, 50,000, 15,000, 12,000, 10,000, 1,500. See, I would have guessed like 1,500 would be the highest you could go for Gronk Beach Party.
Sure isn't.
I can't talk right now. God.
What are you willing to pay for this?
150 would have been my max, and
also we should probably get a press pass for this, right?
Yeah, I don't know if they give those away.
Well, the worst answer you can get is no, right?
Yeah, I could. I don't know. Do I just reach out to Gronk?
I think so.
Okay.
I think you just call him.
Hey, Gronk.
1-800-GRONK.
I need some VIP press passes, and I will cover your beach party with video to help promote it after the party.
Yes.
Everybody focuses on promotion before, but really where you can make money is after promotion.
Yeah. It's like highlights after a game.
Yeah. You can sell the video experience later.
Mm-hmm. The memory. We will implant the memory of you getting the $100,000 tier.
Yes. Who would pay that? I couldn't imagine paying.
A lot of people pay for a lot stupider things.
I guess so. For a party.
Yeah, a party, doesn't last that long.
I didn't even want to pay like a lot of money for my wedding reception.
But you got to do that. If you don't pay, if you cheap out there, it's a virus that spreads throughout the rest of the marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something you got to do. This, though, this could also ruin your marriage very easily.
Yeah, $100,000. Like, I could buy 4 cars for that much.
You could. Yeah.
4 decent cars.
4 really solid cars. Could, pay off student loans. You could
pay off all my wife's student loans.
Mm-hmm. You could adopt a child or several.
Yeah, like 2.5 probably.
Yeah,
3?
At least.
3.
Well, no, half a child would be good.
One half child, please.
Split right down the middle.
Are you saying you want a kid without legs, sir?
Exactly.
If it's half the price.
Yeah. I'm in a little bit of a pinch. It's like, do you have any half children, or will I have to cut him myself?
Just haggling an adoption agent.
Yeah, it's like Dewey Cox. He was severed in half in an accident.
I don't remember that. What is that?
That's very early in the movie. Dewey Cox. Or Walk Hard.
Yeah, Walk Hard. Okay, yeah. Okay. Mike Shula in Denver interviewing as Broncos quarterback coach. This is as sexy of news as we can get, Will.
Right. This news has sex appeal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much a quarterback coach does, but basically with Pat Shermer in an offensive coordinator, the Broncos have 2 guys who have a lot of offensive coordinating experience if they hire Mike Shula. And he, of course, coached the Panthers. He was their OC when Cam Newton had his MVP season. So I'm guessing that would be a nice asset to have. I don't know. I don't know how much a QB coach does.
Yeah, I don't either. I know from 2013 to 2017, they made the playoffs 4 times in those 5 years. So you got that. You got the genetics of the most winningest head coach of all time. So you got that too. And we can probably forget the fact that he was the Giants offensive coordinator in 2018. Yep. But obviously he did a good job with Daniel Jones last year without Saquon Barkley and without really anyone to throw to.
Yeah. If the Broncos hadn't, started playing Drew Lock, could you imagine what the rumors would be right now about Cam Newton?
Or Eli Manning had he not retired.
Oh yeah.
That would have been tough.
Yeah, that it doesn't surprise me that Eli retired. Just kind of came out of nowhere yesterday.
Yeah. So I know like we're both pretty, we like Eli. We have nothing against Eli, but like the reverence that he gets spoken about and like the way he's treated by the media is pretty hilarious for a guy who was who had a 500 career record. And all the stuff about how he was like cut out for the New York media is just so blown out of proportion. And New York as a market loves to suck itself off for how tough it is. I'm like, do you think it's a good thing that you like harass all your star athletes and you praise the ones who just like don't tell you to fuck off at every turn? I mean, it gets really they're very self-congratulatory. And the Eli stuff, like, again, I have nothing against Eli. I think he was a pretty good quarterback.
Yeah, he was all right.
I mean, I kind of have to like, obviously he did what Rivers didn't do, and he won the 2 Super Bowls. But, I knocked that against Rivers for, this X amount of years in a row. He didn't make the playoffs. And you have to do the same thing for Eli too. He missed the playoffs a lot more than he made the playoffs in his career.
Yeah, he had 2 great playoff runs, basically. And
and then
2 crazy Super Bowl wins.
Right, and I think 4 one-and-dones.
He basically did Joe Flacco twice, and he has the pedigree of a royal football family.
Yeah.
Like, if Eli Manning wasn't part of the Mannings, I don't think he would get – I think he would still – for the Super Bowls, he would still get a lot of love, but – that Manning name, I think, just carries a ton of weight with it.
It does. Yeah, there was no point. At no point was he better than his brother.
Yeah, that's what's crazy.
Obviously, except for 2011, when his brother didn't play and he won the Super Bowl. Yeah. I'll give him that.
Yeah, and they were different quarterbacks too.
They were.
For 2 guys who probably very genetically similar, based on their faces. They have the same amount of Super Bowls, though. That's what's so stupid about like the quarterback Super Bowl sort of thing is it just we realize, yes, quarterback is the most important position, on the football field, but you have to have a good team to win a Super Bowl. Rarely does a single player like that carry a team through a Super Bowl victory, All those giant Super Bowl wins over the Patriots were because their defense slowed the Pats offense. Like, they attacked Brady, they put pressure on him, they kept the game low scoring, and then Eli delivered in clutch fashion twice. So, but I don't know. That's like a whole conversation that gets overplayed. But yeah, Eli Manning will finish as a very overrated quarterback in terms of praise. But since he did beat the Patriots twice in the Super Bowl, I said in yesterday's video, not only does he deserve to go to the Hall of Fame should be renamed after Eli Manning.
Oh, no. I'll always love him for what he did to the Patriots, not once but twice. I mean, the second time was so great. The second time's kind of forgotten about just because that was a chance for the Patriots to kind of erase what happened 4 years earlier and to take their revenge. And it looked, that was a great team too, the 2011 team. And the Giants just did the exact same thing to them. And it was
just crazy. That's one of those things to me that seems like a mental hurdle, where you do have the chance to do that and you're so scared that the same thing's going to happen, and then it just fucking does.
It does in such similar fashion, like a late drive. You have the helmet catch, obviously, first of all, the most athletic thing Eli Manning's ever done. And then, the beautiful pass to Mario Manningham, which, it gets – I feel like it gets brought up a lot as, like, one of the best plays in NFL history. It's like, it was a nice pass and a nice catch. But just like, Rich Eisen talking about that Patrick Mahomes run against the Titans as immediately one of the greatest plays in NFL history.
It was a good play, and rewatching it, every time it becomes less impressive to me.
It does, yeah. I mean, Tremaine Brock really just tried to hand tackle him, not even arm tackle, just hand tackle.
You remember when we couldn't wait to get Tremaine Brock off the Broncos roster because he just wouldn't do anything?
He sucked.
He misses. Was he the one who whiffed on that? Coming in on that tackle at the end?
Yeah,
he the first?
He tried to strip the ball.
Linebacker misses early. Mahomes stays in bounds.
Everyone's afraid to hit him.
Yeah, that's like the big thing. And that's a good segue into this Mike Florio thing.
Yeah.
Which he basically insinuated that the 49ers, if Mahomes tries to run, should make a statement and hit him. And Chiefs fans are freaking out because, nobody ever wants to hear somebody say an opposing team should take some shots on their quarterback. I get that. But he's not wrong. Like, during that game, I was like, that play, rewatching it, I was like, that guy missed an opportunity to lay into Patrick Mahomes the same way Daniel Sorensen did to fucking Ryan Tannehill when he ran the ball.
Yeah.
That's all Florio's saying is like, another team needs to do that too.
That was a legal hit that,
Yeah. It was awesome, too.
Quarterbacks get so much leeway now. And, sure, they're more athletic now, but they also have the benefit of, the referees on their side whenever they get outside the pocket. And we forget that they should be treated as a runner as soon as they pass that line of scrimmage. And the defense still knows that, if you hit the quarterback hard enough, it's going to be a foul on principle.
Yeah, on hitting too
hard. Whether
hard.
you lowered the helmet or,
hitting
slide,
too hard.
Whatever. And I think in the playoffs, they kind of laid off that. At least they did for the Chiefs. And, of course, they laid off the Chiefs for a lot of other penalties they're committing in that game. But, yeah, no, I'm with Florio there. Nothing illegal.
Yeah, and I don't think that's what he's saying.
Make him feel it if he's going to do that. No, and we know Chiefs fans are among the most sensitive in the NFL. So, of course, they're pissed off. And Mike Florio's managed to piss off 49ers fans and Chiefs fans simultaneously, which I really respect him for.
And don't get me wrong,
I find he's doing a great job.
I find Mike Florio annoying as well at times. But I know during the season, I've seen many times where I'm like, defenses aren't taking advantage of quarterbacks when they're running. And I'm not even talking about Lamar Jackson because, defenses just can't catch him. So that's a different story.
They can't hit on him.
I've seen, when Tom Brady's out there and he goes to block, I've seen, defenders not hit him. You know what I mean? When they could and when they should have. And that's not – he doesn't even have the ball some of those times, but he's out there running like he's going to block. If I were a defender, I would –
You should level him.
My shots to take a shot on him there. But and I think, the part that people are getting pissed off about is Florio's talking about, if the quarterback goes to slide, it's almost worth getting the 15-yard penalty for. And And I think he was trying to say, like, don't be worried about the quarterback sliding.
Yeah.
Like, if it's going to cause
yeah.
you to miss a tackle,
Right.
it's probably worse than taking the 15-yard flag in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's true. I think that's worrying if a QB is going to drop down has caused many defenders to miss tackles over the last like season or so. But I don't know how much running Patrick Mahomes is actually going to do in the Super Bowl anyway. The 49ers defense is a little bit different than
it's better than the Titans defense. It's better than the Texans defense. It's better than anybody in the AFC West.
Yeah, that's I think like the thing
at least the front seven. You know, the secondary behind Sherman it can get a little spotty. They don't really know who their second cornerback is even, but
they have their safety. Yeah, let me look because I don't remember their names.
I don't know if Jaquiski Tart is playing. You got Jimmy Ward.
Yeah, Jimmy Ward. He's good.
He's a hard hitter. He could lay the wood a little bit.
It's Jimmy Ward. Emmanuel Mosley is the guy that they swapped out for Akilla Witherspoon.
Right.
And then their slot corner, Quan Williams. He's decent.
He is pretty good. He is.
I think like we'll get into the prediction of it, but where the 49ers are specifically different, I think their linebackers are a lot more athletic and better in coverage, which with Travis Kelce is something you need. And that, I think, is an area the 49ers can maybe do better. But the real thing that I'm excited about is these are both very good teams. I think they're both playing the best football right now. So it's like we're getting the best matchup for a Super Bowl. And as much as Broncos fans don't want to see the Chiefs in there, if you're talking about it from just a football perspective, it should be a good game. Last year's Super Bowl was
a terrible game.
Surprisingly just terrible to watch.
Yeah, the only upside of last year's Super Bowl was that neither team could score, and so it was a close game by default.
Yeah, and which if the Chiefs went to the Super Bowl last year and we got a Rams-Chiefs matchup, it would have been different. But I think we were surprised at how well the Rams defense played. And
yeah,
that was like that kind of came – they were playing decent, but then them not being able to score as well, it was fucking brutal to watch. I don't think that'll happen this game.
Do you think both offenses in this game have an advantage over the opposing defense? Or do you think there's one that's a little more deadlocked?
No, I think they both have an advantage. With the 49ers, like their defense, the 49ers defense, I feel like has more potential to slow the Chiefs offense than the Chiefs defense does to compete with the 49ers run game. Yeah. But that being said, like the Chiefs defense has played really well towards the end of the season here, and they're giving up like 16 points a game or something. And the 49ers before the playoffs, when they played a good team, it was always close. So if the other team scored a lot of points, so did the 49ers. Like their defense kind of, disappeared, but the defense also went through some injuries. They're pretty healthy now. I don't know, man. It's hard to say because the difference is Patrick Mahomes is a lot better than Jimmy Garoppolo right now.
Yes and no. Like he's playing better, but Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't have to do anything.
No, I know.
And it's the same exact thing we were saying about Ryan Tannehill last week. He's not playing bad. He's just not really playing.
No.
He hasn't Garoppolo, he was 6 for 8 last week, and 2 of those passes set up one of the early touchdowns. He was extremely efficient. And on the same note as the Titans, why run or why pass if you can just run?
Yeah, I mean, but the Titans weren't running as effectively as they had
No,
been.
and the 49ers have a different style of running game too than the
Yeah.
Titans. The
And they
Titans are just
have
old school, like give it to Derrick Henry and clear him out in the middle. And we saw what a difference Chris Jones made in the
yeah.
middle of that Chiefs defense. Because Chris Jones, Frank Clark to an extent, as much as everyone should hate him, did a good job on Derrick Henry, because I think they were able to overpower that Titans offensive line. With the 49ers, it's a lot of stretch runs, a lot of tosses, a lot of counters, deception.
Yeah, the speed's going to be an issue, I think.
Right.
And let's just say, and I'm not saying this was the case, but say Derrick Henry was just kind of having an off day where, he's still playing pretty good, but maybe just he wasn't himself. The 49ers have 3 different backs they can rotate in there, and find if one guy's not performing, they have other options, and the Titans did not have that. And the other difference is the 49ers have legitimate receiving threats. And as much as I really like A.J. Brown in Tennessee, you have to defend George Kittle every single play, and Kittle can block on every single play.
Yeah.
Then you have Emmanuel Sanders, which is just a smart receiver who is going to make things easy for Jimmy Garoppolo.
Knows the Chiefs a little bit.
And Deebo Samuel and Kendrick Bourne are great third options to have.
I think Deebo Samuel I think he's turning into the number 1.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
If the running game, even if the running game is not going perfectly for San Francisco, the Chiefs have to respect the pass more than they did against the Titans. There's going to be more mismatches. Whether or not San Francisco executes and takes advantage of that, I don't know, but we'll find ways.
You got two very different, 2 great tight ends. One who's extremely likable. Another one that I really just don't want to hear him open his mouth ever again as long as I live. And they play very differently. Travis Kelce is kind of like a slot wide receiver, just like a really big slot wide receiver who exploits zones.
Yeah, he's great at that.
George Kittle is the best blocking tight end in the league. And, when you get him out on bootlegs and waggle routes, he's just impossible to defend. And can stretch the defense. You can go deep. You can do all these different things. And I think I would rather have Kittle just because he's so instrumental in the run game. And Kelce's a great wide receiver. I know he'll block sometimes, and he's a huge mismatch in the passing game too.
Yeah, in the red zone, I think Kelce is
a traditional tight end.
Yeah, I think Kelce and Mahomes have a good relationship. They're just 2 guys that I feel like they're always on the same page. And when Mahomes doesn't have something on third down, he can always find Travis Kelce. Maybe that's their advantage, but
again, I'm worried about Tyreek Hill in this game, just because they
worried about him every fucking game.
Yeah, no one has. They're not deep in the secondary. They're just not.
No, and you basically just have to assume he's going to burn you for 1 touchdown. You just assume that.
Yeah, and hopefully it's not too long.
And you hope you don't let it happen
not
twice.
80 yards.
Yeah,
pretty much. I mean, he's the best. He's the biggest game changer in football probably right now. The things he does for that offense, or whether or not he's getting the ball. He gets Sammy Watkins open. He gets Kelce open. He gets the running backs open. He makes
they're a nightmare to defend.
Very easy.
They're a nightmare to defend. You have to get to Mahomes with your 4.
And they can. That's the thing. They have the absolute the Chiefs' offensive line is really, really good. And I think the 49ers' defensive line is a little bit better. And that is
I would agree.
What they have to do. That's what they have to hang their hat on. It's really got to be the Nick Bosa show, because all four of their guys, like Eric Armstead's been great. Bosa's obviously been great. Solomon Thomas even got in the action against Minnesota. And then obviously DeForest Buckner and Dee Ford. And we can talk about Dee Ford too, because I think it was Mitchell Schwartz who said that it wasn't his fault that they lost the Patriots last year. And obviously
I think Mitchell's just trying to be over complimentary because he's going to have to block Dee Ford. I think that's mental.
Yeah.
Mental.
Yeah. And it's like, it's the same way that the Broncos would have beaten the Ravens if not for Raheem Moore. It's like, well,
right.
If not for Raheem Moore, then they would have won the game if he had not done that one thing. Maybe they're not there if he's not on the team. I think it's different with Ford and Raheem Moore. Dee Ford's a much better player. But if you take out that one play, they do go to the Super Bowl. And that's not to say, though, they couldn't have taken that one play and kept it, and they could have won the game in a different way. You could say the same thing about the Saints last year, too. It wasn't the end of the game. You still get an opportunity to win. In some cases, multiple in the Saints case. But, yeah, I mean, I think –
well, and in that Chiefs game, too, it's like you let the Patriots score 14 points. You were down 14-0 heading into halftime in that game last year in the playoffs, with the Dee Ford thing. So, the Chiefs, they scored 24 points in that fourth quarter last season when they lost to the Patriots. They're
the Golden State Warriors. They are the Golden State Warriors. Patrick Mahomes is Steph Curry. Well, no, I'd say Tyreek Hill is kind of Steph Curry because he's the reason the rest of that offense works, because he can score anywhere on the field / court pretty much, and he opens up things for everybody else. But that's a team that can be beaten at the same time.
Any team can be beaten.
Yeah, I know. I just mean that, like, we've gotten to a place now where everyone's anointed the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes is the greatest quarterback of all time. And I'm not like I'm out of character. I'm not saying that facetiously. People have talked about him now after his second full year of playing quarterback in the NFL. He is now the best quarterback in football history. Like, look at Max Kellerman on ESPN or like guys like that.
Yeah, those guys are.
And I know they're take artists, but there's always truth behind what they're saying.
No, I'm sure. Well, yeah, I guess.
Like, it's something they believe.
I think you and I are in positions where we kind of have to believe points that we make.
We don't.
Unless it's a joke.
Anything.
Like, I think
an obvious joke.
We have a pretty clear line of, like, it's either a sarcastic take because we're making fun of that shit kind of, or we have nobody to be beholden to, so we're always going to try and write things as, like, the way we actually see them versus trying to get people upset or pissed off or talking about something. So we can say Patrick Mahomes is playing amazing football. He's a great quarterback, but we're not going to say – we would never say a guy in his second year is the best that's ever done it unless Patrick Mahomes threw for, like, if he threw 6,500 yards and for 70 touchdowns, went undefeated, and then won the Super Bowl by a 55-0 blowout. And it was all like it was like, it would have to be something that crazy to be like, that's the best quarterback I've ever seen.
Yeah. I mean, I'd probably jump off a bridge at that point, but
yeah, I mean, we saw I think what's cool is,
well, we've gone to, like, Brady is the undisputed best of all time, which I don't think either of us ever believed at any point. Just watching him play, you can tell, like, that, we've watched all the great quarterbacks play, and it's like, no, it's just, it doesn't pass the eye test. Like, I know he's the most accomplished quarterback of all time, but people love to remove context from the conversation because it makes things more nuanced and it's not as black and white, and it's harder to come to a decision, and it it creates more discussion, which people don't want to discuss. They just want to throw out their take and have people either say yes or no.
Yeah.
But there's more to it than that, obviously.
And it's like Tom Brady and Peyton Manning were great because they lacked some athletic skill points that other guys had. And I think it forced them to take a much more sort of regimented, cerebral approach where they worked harder to refine all of the little things, and that paid off for them. And I'm not saying like Patrick Mahomes won't do that or Lamar Jackson won't do that, but those guys are so athletically gifted. Same way, like I think Aaron Rodgers is, and where if
I think you're right.
I think once it feels to me like Aaron Rodgers is at a point where he's still a great quarterback, but athletically he's not quite as good as he was, and he's going to have to really train and hone in on all of the small things that make quarterbacks great if he wants to, I don't know, get back to the Super Bowl.
And I want to talk about Rodgers in a second. But yeah, to your point, Manning and Brady are like mechanics, study the defense 6 hours a day.
Yeah.
And then just work on mechanics and timing and everything else.
It's like Elway was never that kind of guy. You know what I mean?
Not really, although Elway did have good mechanics.
No, he had all of that stuff. But like I guess
he could also work off script. He's better off script.
I think, and he started to play better when Mike Shanahan got there. There's always that pairing too of being with the right coach. And Patrick Mahomes has that with Andy Reid. Jimmy G is a great fit for what Kyle Shanahan wants to do. Like Shanahan's not going to make him try and do shit he can't do on the field. Obviously Brady had that. I mean, Mahomes,
you could argue, he has a Hall of Fame coach in Andy Reid, and it's like, he's already a Hall of Famer. It's just going to be solidified if they win in a week. He's got a future, arrest pending. He's got a future Hall of Fame wide receiver in Tyreek Hill, Hall of Fame tight end in Travis Kelce, and, a borderline Hall of Fame tackle in Mitchell Schwartz, I think.
Yeah, Schwartz has developed into a great tackle.
We really don't.
No, Mahomes walked into an ideal
perfect situation
for a young QB. The Chiefs' offense does what the Patriots' offense does so well, and it's get guys into space to make throws easy for the quarterback. So as good as Patrick Mahomes is, like he doesn't have to make a ton of difficult throws through a game. You know what I mean? He makes impressive throws because he extends plays, but that offense gets guys open. You see,
he's also like inspired a new generation of quarterbacks to learn the game the wrong way, I think.
You mean by doing this?
Yes, exactly. Like I was watching a video of Spencer Rattler, who is going to be Oklahoma's new quarterback.
Oh, is that where he's like running around doing all the drills?
Which is so fucking dumb because, he can't – he misses like a halfback flare by 10 feet, but, at least he can run to his right and throw a no-look pass 20 yards across the field to his left because that's what really matters when you're playing quarterback. And not everyone's got like a freak twitchy arm like Mahomes. And you can see it like in Drew Lock a little bit too. And I think he's more focused on, the mechanics and like playing within himself a little more. And he doesn't like take those crazy risks. But you can see where he goes sidearm sometimes and kind of extends those plays in the same way. But no one's like got the athleticism I don't think that Mahomes has in his arm, aside from Rodgers, who I kind of wanted to touch on because I thought he really sucked in that NFC Championship game, and he played like one of the most uninspired games of his career. I know he's not working with a lot on that offense,
Right.
but he didn't take chances until they were down, 30 points late in the game. Really didn't push the ball down the field, was checking off most of the time, just kind of like fading back on his throws. Really just like a poor performance, I thought, that is kind of obscured by, a halfway decent stat line, like a good completion percentage. And those last few throws helped his yards per attempt a lot. So I don't think it's going to look that bad on the stat sheet, but that was a really bad game, I thought, from him.
Yeah, his play has declined. He had those two like back-to-back injury seasons, right?
Yeah.
And then was this last year, the first year he was fully healthy, or was it the year before?
I think he was fully healthy. I think he was fully healthy in 2018.
Yeah, it seems like he has to have a better – I don't even know how to put it, because he just misses throws sometimes that you expect him to make.
Yeah, well, because he's got – you see it from Mahomes too. Like on short throws that should be the easiest ones, they both have really lazy mechanics, and that's where it shows up.
Yeah, it makes me think of Joe Flacco too, because I felt like he struggled with short throws as well. And it's like, how can somebody who's been in the game that long not have the easiest fucking throw down? And it's like Flacco, and it feels like it really affects the tallest of quarterbacks, but there's like wheel routes to running backs, and he just fucking fires it, and the ball just like goes in a beeline to the ground. You're like, what are you doing?
I mean, that's the best. That's the best thing that Brady does. Is like he's got perfect mechanics on the throws.
Oh yeah, he never missed
7 yards
until this season. He started missing a lot of throws. You're like, oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
But throughout his career, like
just
any
money
easy throw, always on target. And his deep throws, he didn't throw unless it was there and he connected a lot. It was fucking infuriating when you watched it, because it's not super impressive, but the ball was always there. So it'll be interesting to see how we're talking about Mahomes in 5 years. I think he's going to develop and evolve with the game. I'm really hoping Drew Lock is good, because I'm hoping he's great, because having two great quarterbacks in the same division is fun for fans, but also it's like great for football. Like imagine if Brady and Manning were in the same division or some shit like that, like the kind of games you would get. And I'm hoping like the Broncos have that in Drew Lock to compete with Mahomes, and like it gets that national sort of attention, and people are talking about that again.
Right.
Because it ain't happening with the Raiders or the Chargers anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, depending on who the Chargers draft or who the Raiders draft for that matter, but we won't know for a couple of years either way.
If you could have one quarterback right now to start your team, any guy in the league, who do you want?
Oh man, I'm tempted to say Deshaun Watson.
Ooh, that's good answer.
Just because I think if you put Watson in that Chiefs offense, it would be roughly the same.
Yeah, Watson to me is a lot like Mahomes, except he just doesn't have the coach there.
Yeah, he's got the terrible coach.
I feel bad for Deshaun.
Yeah, he's got like he's got the management skills of Andy Reid without like the play calling skills.
Yeah.
Which is a recipe for disaster. He's got a really bad offensive line pretty much his entire time with Houston. He's got behind Hopkins, he really doesn't have a tight end. He doesn't have much to work with at running back either.
If you could put –
it's Hopkins and like an injured Will Fuller.
I would love to put Deshaun Watson on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, yeah.
That would be fun.
That's a winner.
That would be fun. Yeah, Watson, that's a good answer. I was thinking of like Russell Wilson too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think Wilson would be there too.
To me,
I think for a lot of the same reasons.
To me, it's like Watson, Wilson, Mahomes are all great picks. I think Joe Burrow is going to be really good. Lamar Jackson was incredibly fun to watch this season.
Yeah, I don't think Lamar Jackson transcends scheme though, like Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson do though. Because if you can set up your offense perfectly like that, and I don't think he gets talked about how good the Ravens' offensive line is.
No, it's
with guys like Marshall Yonda and Ronnie Stanley and all those guys, but you have to have the right offense in place to make Lamar Jackson work. Whereas if you have Deshaun Watson in your offense, it will work because of Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, he's like a I've got no metaphor. I was going to try to think of a car metaphor, and then I remembered I don't know anything about fucking cars.
But to actually a new answer for who I would start my team with, Colin Kaepernick.
Ooh, yes. There is how we get the clicks, Will.
That's my wokest take of the day.
Gary Kubiak gonna OC for the Vikings, which makes a lot of sense, obviously.
Right, yeah, because Stefanski was their offensive coordinator. Now he's in Cleveland. He just kind of takes a step up. And I have to give Gary Kubiak credit because just 3 years ago, Paxton Lynch almost killed him from how bad he was. And a nearly
gave him a heart attack
on the sideline.
Yeah.
So you got to hand it to him for coming back despite Paxton Lynch's best efforts to kill his head coach.
Congratulations for surviving Paxton Lynch, Gary. Yeah. The greatest health risk to a head coach is a bad quarterback.
Yep.
That's really funny. Gary Kubiak, him and Stefanski, I read, sort of like meshed their offensive sort of schemes, and obviously it worked for the Vikings. But like that's just like that. If the Vikings can get a better offensive line, they have a better chance to compete in the postseason, I think. Who knows? Like Kubiak seems to inherit shitty offensive lines too.
He does, yeah, he really does. I don't think he's had a good offensive line since like 2005.
Yeah.
Whatever the last year was before he went to the Houston Texans.
The Broncos also, they fired their lead contract negotiator, which is interesting. So I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but it feels like they want to take a different approach with, I guess, players.
Well, I don't think – they didn't fire him. His contract ran out.
Oh, they just didn't renew it?
Yeah, which I think is different. But, like, I've always thought they've been pretty good at giving out contracts for the most part.
It's always been –
kind of the quarterbacks aside.
It's been beneficial to the team financially.
Mm-hmm.
They've never been in a bad
they've never been in cap hell.
Spot. Yeah, so I think they'll stay safe with that. I know was it Shelby Harris hired Drew Rosenhaus to be his new agent.
Well, Drew Rosenhaus has a lot more time on his schedule now.
Yeah, but Rosenhaus also doesn't accept anything less than max.
Yeah.
So I think that hurts Shelby's chances of coming back.
I just want one. I want either Harris or Wolf,
Yeah,
Okay. I don't think you're going to get them both, and that's okay because, I think Draymond Jones is ready to start.
It would be cool to see Wolf, retire as a Bronco.
Yeah.
Shelby Harris is, younger, and I think he's got better years ahead of him, so that's what would be exciting about Shelby.
But, I mean, as the 49ers are proving right now, you cannot have too many good defensive linemen.
No.
You really can't.
They proved it. I mean, when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, they proved it. It's one of those things, if your defensive line is one of the top 3 in the league, you have a chance to
be there.
Compete with any team because you can control the game from that point. And that's it's going to be interesting to see if they actually do that against the Chiefs.
Yeah, and the 49ers, like, to their credit, they even whiffed on a defensive lineman, I think, with their third overall pick in 2017 when they took Solomon Thomas, who looked like he was going to be great, and I think, like, just, like, had some issues kind of going on outside of football that have hamstrung him a little bit. And he's been, like, pretty decent in spurts. Like I said, in that Vikings game, he got a sack. But even having kind of just, like, missed on, a top 3 pick, the fact that they still have, like, they came back, it's like, we got the number 2 pick. You'd be like, oh, we've invested so many resources in it already, like a first on Buckner, first on Armstead, a top 3 on Thomas. You have the second overall pick now. It's like, do you really want to spend another on a defensive lineman? It's like, well, here's Nick Bosa, and so far he's been, like, maybe the best rookie.
Yeah, and I mean
they have
that NFL. In terms of people projecting Bosa to go to them was not a surprise, but to just stick by that and see it pay off, like, because John Lynch won GM of the year, right? He got the general manager.
Yeah, I mean, he might become a Hall of Famer as a general manager before he does as a safety.
Fair enough.
I mean, just for trading that number 2 pick to Chicago for Mitch Trubisky, who I don't think they were going to take in the first place, is a great move. Just like a couple months onto the job as GM, and like that's your first move in the draft is pretty legendary.
Think about this, though. Think if instead of Solomon Thomas, the 49ers take Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I mean, they're still, probably in the Super Bowl right now. To be honest with you.
Are you more willing to be impressed by Patrick Mahomes if he's wearing 49ers colors?
No, because probably not, because, like, where I live, people, I'd be just around as many people sucking him off all day.
You would.
So,
do you think the problem for you is
why is it a me problem, Brandon?
Players, because we're not talking about Tom Brady. Players getting more credit than they deserve. Is that what mostly bothers you?
Yeah, I mean,
Mahomes is a division rival, so you're going to have some bias towards him no matter what as a Broncos fan. But I think in general, my perception of you is you just hate when guys get too much credit when you don't feel like they've earned it yet.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Of course. Like with quarterbacks, it's either like, it's all or nothing.
Right.
At that position. And yeah, like, of course, like, I don't like playing the Chiefs. But I'm willing to recognize that it is the Chiefs and not their quarterback. That is the reason they are where they are.
A little bit of both, but okay.
I mean, he is one of 53 players on the Chiefs, on the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, no. I get it. All right, here's just another thing. Okay, so the 49ers, they took Solomon Thomas 3, right? And he's playing better now, and he might develop and be one of those guys who starts to play better late. But if you're the 49ers, say you don't take Solomon Thomas, I'm just going to go down the list of the guys drafted after him, and you tell me the first guy that you go, oh, fuck, that's the guy they should have taken, okay?
Okay.
All right, so picked after Solomon Thomas, Leonard Fournette.
No.
Corey Davis.
No.
Jamal Adams.
That would have been nice. That
would be the first guy I would be excited about if I were the 49ers. Mike Williams for the Chargers.
Yeah, like, I don't know how much he fits into that offense because it's a very, like, horizontal offense sometimes in the passing game, and not like a jump ball offense like in with the Chargers. It's like, obviously, like, he'd be good there, but I don't think it's a perfect fit.
Here's an interesting one.
Okay.
Did I sound like a radio guy? No, here's the interesting one. Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, yeah, like, he'd be great. But at the same time, like, I don't want a running back in the first round with Kyle Shanahan. Like, it's just not necessary.
And do you think Christian McCaffrey's
Of course, he'd be a better pick than Solomon Thomas, yeah.
Do you think he would – but I don't think McCaffrey would be as productive with the 49ers.
I don't think so either because, like, he'd be splitting carries.
Yeah. Then you got John Ross.
I think Put John Ross on the Chiefs. Like, he's got 10 touchdowns this year.
Then it's Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, we already talked about that. And, like,
And Deshaun Watson coming up.
Okay, Deshaun Watson would be great.
In between them, Marshawn Lattimore.
That, I think, would have really, really, really – this is a different team, I think, with Marshawn Lattimore.
So, basically, pick 11. The 49ers could have – Jamal Adams would have been interesting, but knowing what maybe the 49ers could really use right now, if you were to trade out Solomon Thomas for Marshawn Lattimore, I think you'd do that for the 49ers.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, I don't really have anything else today. Will?
Yeah, I think we covered a lot there. Just
good old football talking. We talked a lot about Chiefs 49ers. I guess we'll talk more about it next week.
Got more to talk about. And there should be, hopefully some more storylines. What I love about Miami is we should get like one pre-Super Bowl arrest.
A prostitution sting, a
domestic violence, drunk, the second team that's playing.
I want to see one player somehow. I want to see one player attend Gronk's party.
When is it? Is it before? Like the day before?
Oh, I think I don't know. Let me look back up real quick.
And it's not during.
Gronk, February 1st, Saturday. Yeah, day before. Yeah, that would be egregious.
Yeah. That'd be tough. Being really hungover for the Super Bowl. I would never.
No.
What do you usually do on Super Bowl Sunday?
It's like a work day for me. It's really
I guess.
Boring.
Do you have anybody over?
Last year I did not. The year before, it was just like my parents and friend, like my friend. I have a friend.
Oh, yeah.
I have a friend.
Right on.
Yeah, it's like I want to enjoy it more, but it's like if I can just get a video up that night, it's always better. I don't know what I'll do this year. Maybe I'll try to be social.
You could always do that.
What are views,
Yeah, no, nothing. I mean, nothing.
They really don't.
I mean, how well do the Super Bowl videos do usually? Because like people have so many outlets.
Yeah, I would have to look. They do.
If they're not great,
It's like the same as the other ones,
I guess so.
But if I can, YouTube's it's a fucking grind in a game.
Well, I take it back. Like people want to know what you think about what just happened more than like a lot of other places.
It's getting that way.
You're kind of like the Scott Van Pelt of the internet.
Oh, yeah.
I don't come just to see the highlights. I can see the highlights anywhere. I want Brandon Perna's take on it.
Nice take.
I also want Scott Van Pelt's take on it. And if we can get him on the show, I think we'll have to do that.
Scott's good. SVP is good.
He is.
First,
the best sports center in the game.
The first, actual sports show I started listening to that wasn't just Bronco shit was SVP and Russillo.
That's like an all-time duo right there.
They were so good.
Great, and SVP is awesome.
Yeah, Russillo's your sports dude, right? And
he knows a lot about a lot.
And Scott and Van Pelt, he just got the good personality. He knows his shit, and he can just bounce between topics. Just enough humor to keep you entertained. I don't know.
And they're not take guys.
No, it was always that's why I watched it. I was like, oh yeah, it's not bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, you can either throw out takes or you can know what you're talking about, and it's harder to know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And it's not usually you're not rewarded for knowing what you're talking about as much as you are for just coming up with takes and working from the conclusion backwards.
Right.
They come up with the opposite of the scientific method. They're given a take and they find out reasons to support that. And then how to dissect the other person's take, but it really is a backwards way of doing things. But it is it is the most profitable method of sports entertainment.
Yeah,
it's all it is. It's entertainment, and then some shows are actually enlightening. Others are theater.
Yeah, and I think like what I like to do is find the ridiculous things that actually happen and then comment on those. But
right,
that's a different thing.
And mask our actual
lack of
robust knowledge. I was gonna say.
Yeah. We know our football shit though.
A couple jokes, a couple Josh's jests and jokes here and there.
Yeah, I could talk football with SVP, with Russillo. Now,
absolutely.
You go into any other sport, I can't.
Yeah, well, that's what you got me for.
That's why I got Will.
Yep.
All right, thanks for listening to this fucking podcast.
Thank you.
I don't know if I swore until just now.